Okay, so before we start going through the questions, let's have a look at the data and what we can get from it. So from the information from the top, this is telling us that healthier people have a higher sensitivity to insulin, and that most people with diabetes are overweight, and to see if the surgery can help, which would help people lose weight, then increases their sensitivity to insulin. So identifying, are their diabetic symptoms improving as a result of the surgery. So from the data we can see that for both diabetic people who have type 2 diabetes and those that don't have diabetes, after the surgery both groups do in fact become more sensitive to insulin. This isn't a significant difference though, because as you can see here, if you took 0.87 off this number, and if you added 0.24 onto this number, you'd then get an overlapping number. So there's an overlap in standard deviations. So for this group, there's not a significant increase. And for this group also, if you did the same thing, there would not be a significant increase. So both groups do increase their sensitivity to insulin, but not significantly. Also, if you compare, so the ones that don't have diabetes are kind of acting as a control, or allow you to compare your results to something to compare your results to. And there's actually an overlap in here as well. So if you add 0.32 onto 0.55, sorry, if you take 0.32 off 0.55 and you add 0.24 onto 0.40, there's an overlap there. And the same if you did a similar thing here, there's an overlap in standard deviations between these two as well. So there's not a significant difference. Or we could say diabetics do not have a significantly lower sensitivity to insulin than people who do not have diabetes. So let's go through the questions. The first question asks, use the data in the table to suggest why they reached the conclusion that many patients who did not have type 2 diabetes were at risk of developing the condition. And use the data to show this. So you can see that their sensitivity to insulin is similar for those for diabetics and those that don't. So you can see here that this mean and this mean are very similar. The standard deviations overlap, so it's not there's not a significant difference. People with diabetes do not have a significantly lower sensitivity, so they are similar. And also both groups show a similar response in that they improve after gastric bypass surgery, so their sensitivity to insulin increases after bypass surgery for both groups. For the second question, the doctors concluded that GBS cured patients' diabetes. But there was also a claim that some people were not helped very much. So let's have a look at the data, see if it supports that. So first of all, sensitivity to insulin does increase with diabetics on the whole, so the mean does increase, so that's an agreed point. However, there's a large standard deviation. In both groups there's quite a large standard deviation compared to the mean. So that makes the data, it's very spread out, so that kind of goes against the idea that all. And because the standard deviations overlap, it's showing that, and they overlap by quite a long way, that it's showing that some people actually get worse. So some people could actually get worse. Their insulin sensitivity could actually decrease for some people after having the surgery. So for example, if you took the standard deviation off this mean, you get 0.23. If you added the standard deviation onto this mean, you would get 0.64. That's a huge overlap. So quite a number of these people could actually get a lower sensitivity to insulin after the surgery. Another factor is we don't know what sensitivity to insulin of non-diabetics who are not obese are. So we're just looking at people who are obese for this data, but to make that conclusion of curing diabetes, really you'd need to know about people who aren't obese as well.